All right, everybody, welcome to the Opulent Female Body Foundational class. I believe there is actually 2 or 3 other parts to these classes, but this is going to be your first OFB foundational class. So I recently put this together, and the entire, I would say, vibe of this class is really getting your feet wet into what OFB is, the values that OFB stands for, what OFB teaches to women, all of that sorts is what you're going to learn in this foundational class. So, of course, we have our important disclaimers. All right, so what is opulent female body? Opulent female body provides the world with self-body working techniques to deepen our relationship that we have with our body. This is done through educational classes like this and hands-on experiences that are guided and taught by me. OFB teaches you how to fish so that you can feed yourself forever. So I'm not providing you with just embodiment practices for you to do. I'm actually showing you how to touch your body and how to listen to your body so that you can touch your body and listen to your body forever. I am teaching you how to fish so that you can nourish yourself forever. All right? The body working practices are taught in a way so that you can build your own practice based around your needs. Right? So I've been doing a self-guided, hands-in, hands-on body working practice for about 8 years now, give or take. It's been a while. I have traversed my feminine internal landscape. I know my body better than anybody else, and that is the one of the core things that needs to be kind of remembered is the intelligence that your body holds, the intelligence that arises when you make space for that intelligence to guide you and to follow that intelligence. You are extremely bright, you are extremely smart, a genius even. We have to remember our brilliance. We have to constantly come back to ourselves, come back internally, get in touch with ourselves, and follow the guidance that we're naturally getting. All right. So, opulent female body, or OFB, is a lifestyle template or a way of living, because when you learn how to listen to your body, the body will provide you with your destiny timeline, and we will talk more about what destiny is, what the destiny timeline is, what the path that unfolds from touching your body, what that exactly is. Because as you continue traveling with OFB, whether you're doing the every Friday embodiment practices or you're looking to get yourself into the devotional immersive series, you'll start to realize that it's your body guiding your path. You know, it's like when you find material and you know it has something for you, it's like pulling on your heartstrings, it's calling you forward. That is what starts to happen when you get in touch with your body. You allow your body to be your compass. When a woman learns to listen to her body, the body will provide the destiny timeline, but a woman's womb and cervix will become her compass. It will become her oracle. And this is the teachings of living from the voice of your womb, living from the voice of your womb in alignment with your heart, in alignment with your mind. Oftentimes, women are so orientated in their mind, they don't necessarily know how to embody themselves. So that is where opulent female body comes together, because opulent female body is going to give you a lifestyle template. It's going to teach you how to become embodied in your body. Womb, heart, brain, mind, your body and your mind in harmony. You know, you could even view it as the opulent female mind, opulent female body. You know, this is where the throne mindset really comes into play, because the throne mindset, which is a YouTube channel that I have that provides the world with subliminals. A whole bunch of stuff will be released on that channel, but it's the gnosis of taking care of your body and getting your mind right. Change your mind, change your life. Really, you know, there's two sides of pretty much the same coin, but you want to make sure you get both sides. You want to make sure you're getting the full coin, right? You have mindset work, identity work, changing your self-concept, who you believe yourself to be, and then you have being in touch with your body, being in touch with your soul, touching your tissues, because it's your fascia that holds limiting beliefs. It holds trauma patterns and stuff like that. So when we're addressing both sides of the coin, we're addressing your mindset, who you believe yourself to be, which is going to affect the way you manifest or the way you experience your external reality. And then on the other side is being in touch with yourself, taking inventory of your body and allowing your body to become your compass, to become your oracle. Because, you know, when the womb speaks, when the cervix speaks, she will guide you. That is the central point of feminine intelligence, is understanding and loving the entire all sexual anatomy parts of the opulent female body. And we will get down into the nitty-gritty of anatomy classes, you know, a little later on. They're going to be, so the anatomy classes that go over our female sex organs, our reproductive organs, our endocrine system, all these things that are really important to understand will come out. They'll be called a opulent female body class. They'll be under they'll be considered OFB class, but this is your foundations. So I wanted to just kind of dip your feet into the foundations of what OFB is. Now, I want you to take a look at, I have my logo here, because I want everybody to really take a look at what the logo of OFB is. So this is the cervix, all right? We have a star for the central point of, you'd be your Oz. So you have your cervix, the round part of the cervix is the Oz, and you have the central point of the cervix, which would be the entrance into the cervix or the exiting of the cervix for a child, right? So opulent female body is, I would say, ruled by the cervix in her queen position. I talk about this a lot, a woman coming into, you know, arriving into the throne and becoming the queen of her life. A man arriving to the throne and becoming the king of his life, of, you know, reality. So it's the throne mindset, is the queen and king archetype. When they come together, they are leading nations. All right? That is the queen and the king together in harmony. Internally, it's the self-concept of being the queen archetype. That is what this represents. Every single time you think about OFB, what comes to mind is going to be the queen archetype. Because even if we break down the word opulent or opulence, which we will a little later, we have to understand that when the cervix is in her most, queen position, central alignment, with the uterus being in central alignment, not retrograded, not retroflexed, but central alignment, everything in a woman's life is aligned and right. There is some very, very deep journeys that we can travel with together when we're looking at the ovarian destiny path, because it is your ovaries, it is your eggs that are in essence holding your destiny timeline. That's why I said that when you start doing body work and you start getting into hands in, hands on, hands in means intravaginal work, self-guided intravaginal work, you will begin to realize that the vulva, the vagina, the inner labias, the outer labias, the clitoris, the cervix, the female prostate, all these pieces that make up our female reproductive system, or our sexual anatomy, our feminine intelligence, they will form their intelligence into a compass, which would then become your oracle. So I really just wanted us to, dive in. There's a reason why the cervix is the main jam of OFB. I've been doing deep personal cervical work myself for years, and I would say hands down that is the most transformative way that you would do embodiment shifts, or I would say shifting who you believe yourself to be, because your cervix is always going to align you and reroute you to the highest emanation of yourself, or the highest emanation of your self-concept, as high as your self-concept could possibly get, right? It is your cervix that is going to whisper those beautiful desires to your body, acting as a compass. Like, yes, you do need to go that direction. There's something there for you. That is your womb, your feminine intelligence becoming your oracle. So, opulence and opulent. When a woman's body is in her most opulent embodiment, we have beautiful, lush cervical mucus, amazing menstrual cycles, lush, beautiful, open, vivacious life force current during ovulation. The opulent female is a woman who lives by her cycles, and she allows her cycles to reshape her entire womanhood. It's a lifestyle template. It's a lifestyle template. So, why start a body working practice? Alright, so there's many, many, many benefits to starting a body working practice. But sometimes let me just make sure, sometimes we don't know where to start. Where do we start? Right? You'll learn all of that in this class. So why start a body working practice? You start it because you have the ability to cultivate the deepest relationship you possibly could ever to your body, and the rewards will always be infinite. As an example, your body working practice, building the relationship with your body, may heal symptomatic experiences like vulvodynia and immune system issues. As we continue to learn about each other and you get a feel for how I really am, you will come to realize that I don't go by medical terms at all. My body completely rejects the education system and the medical system for amazing reasons, which, the medical system was not formed to help you. It is a form of enslavement. It is a form of false authority. And it has pretty much been designed so that you don't trust your body. Instead, you trust somebody that has been to school, indoctrination, and has a white coat on. Okay? All the answers that you're really ever seeking are found within your body. So when we talk about healing symptomatic experiences, that's like if you're having really heavy menstruation cycles, your day one bleed, day 2 bleed, day 3 bleed, give or take these first day 1 and day 2. If it is excruciating, your body is trying to tell you something. And I wanted to bring up on the website, there's a little area called tool sets and tips that will be updated with pretty much the best knowledge that you can find as far as healing certain things like this. But when we experience symptomatic experiences like this, is our body trying to tell us, please pay attention to me? By simply listening to the body is where all the answers are revealed. All of the memories that we need to kind of rehash, forgive, and make peace with, they will come up in your body working practice. So when you are forming your body working practice, it will give you the skills to shift limiting belief patterns or subconscious blocks through self-touch. So it is your body that is holding and broadcasting experience limitations. We do not manifest what we want, we manifest what we are. That is an embodiment, okay? Your embodiment deeply needs to be looked at under a magnifying glass. It needs to be observed so you can figure out what your body is broadcasting when it comes to limitations. Now, I do not put the word poverty here or anything like that because everybody's goals or where they deem is their dream life is going to be different. So it's broadcasting experience limitations. Right now, I am pretty much broadcasting a certain frequency, so to speak, and my external reality is reflecting my own beliefs back to me, right? This is the reason why you have body work and then you also have mindset work. What are your thoughts? What do you really believe about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about money? How do you feel about your body? What is your relationship to your body? Because your beliefs are going to show up in your physical body, right? That's just the way it is. When you start a body working practice, your North Star will be revealed. Your body will guide you down the path of your destiny timeline, and you will be guided into an embodiment that is your highest emanation as you listen to your body and form this type of deep, loving, and nourishing relationship. And what I mean by body work, this could be looked at as many things. I mean, really, a craniosacral could be considered body work, but I'm talking about the gnosis, that you set aside time to massage your breasts, you set aside time to massage your skull, massage your face, nourish yourself, almost like anoint yourself and bless yourself with love every single day. A lot of the stuff that OFB will teach you, it's not really taught. It's just like how most of us are breathing wrong. We're not breathing with our full diaphragm. We're breathing shallow. And that's going to show up in your embodiment. So, the 3 pillars of OFB is breath, presence, and patience. The breath has the ability to consistently open places in our bodies that are closed off from being felt and or are numb. We work with the breath to naturally expand our capacity to receive our desires. Nervous system recalibrations are done with the breath. So, very simple pillars, right? But when we are actively looking at recalibrating or rewiring a nervous system, we have to bring into the truth of the ability for us to receive. Because a shortness of breath is also the inability to breathe in all that life is pretty much what's happening in your life, right? When I first started body work, I found it actually really hard to slow down and keep my breath at 7 seconds inhale and 7 seconds exhale. I wanted to constantly check out into my mind and shallow my breath into like 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. It was not easy when I first begun. I had to retrain myself that it is, number one, okay to move this slow. It's okay to move so slow that I actually end up falling asleep sometimes, because it's nourishing me at such a deep level. I had to kind of rewire how unconsciously I used to rush around everything. When we are talking about the breath, it is the breath that brings oxygen to places. It is the oxygen oxygenating the organ, our body, sending oxygen to these places is what opens and releases, because you're taking it so slow that you're allowing a release to happen naturally, and it's done through the breath. The unfoldingness, the release, and the unravel that happens when you do body work is a slow unravel. That's the reason why I touched on rushing. It is like an unfurl while your body tells you everything. When we are working with our breath and deepening our breath, it is about you serving your body and you taking care of yourself, and nothing else matters. There is never any true goal with OFB practices other than learning to deeply be with yourself, listen to your body, express emotions that are coming up, and be in a space where you can be your most authentic self. Rushing will only short step everything. It will cause, if you are tending to rush in some of these practices, you'll notice that unconsciously it's like you're trying to rush your blooming process. You cannot rush a flower to bloom. You cannot rush. It's really unrushable, right? Presence. Sitting with every single memory or feeling, not judging our experience, simply bringing our full 100% presence to what our body is saying and listening. When we are doing, ceremonial body work together, guided, it is your presence that matters. It is bringing your awareness and your presence back to your body. When you feel yourself starting to check out, you bring it back to your body. You bring it back in to your womb space. You bring it back into what is your breath doing. It's bringing presence back into the practice. So many times we don't notice how potentially disassociated we are until we bring presence into what we're feeling, into what our body is saying, into what memories are resurfacing or coming up. Because, you know, body work is an eternal dance with the body. But when you get started, and I'm talking about the beginning phases of starting your practice, your emotions become way more sensitive. It's like your energetic senses a lot. They enliven. I think of it as like, so you have your nervous system, but to me it's like my field starts to grow an alternate nervous system. And this is how I'm moving out into the world. I'm sensing and listening to my feminine intelligence, and my feminine intelligence becomes my oracle, becomes my compass. So I have this nervous system that I'm taking care of, but then I'm also taking care of this system that begins to grow around you from your body. Right? Patience is the third pillar of Opulent Female Body. And it is to have patience with yourself. You cannot rush your process of blooming, like I said before. Body work is a slow unravel into your highest identity. Body work is not about seeing how fast you can upgrade your self-concept and manifest this, manifest that. Body work is about just connecting with your body, and that's it. You may have many different pathways starting to come up for you. That's fine. You're listening to your body. Like I said, there will be a pivotal point in your practice where you realize that your entire body is your compass, and you're actively feeling for when things feel aligned and true. And then you're also feeling for limitation, because I don't believe in always being comfortable. You're also looking for the areas that feel tight. And, why might that area be tight? And asking the question. I'm opening and asking for this part of me to release. Now I'm talking about like could be energetic tightness, but it could be also so like I'm in the process of unraveling my neck. When I do throat practices, I'm actively inquiring and inviting my neck to release whatever it's been holding on to. So it's about coming into a relationship where you are inviting your body to change, you are inviting your body to unravel, to release, and it starts to become this internal communication where it's like you're coaching yourself through your release. You're saying, I'm safe to release this, I'm safe to unravel, I'm safe to take up space, I'm safe to forgive this. And you're bringing your body and your consciousness into harmony by going through this method of inviting the body to release, because your body is going to hold on to it unless it feels safe to release it. Same thing with memories. Your body is only ever going to bring up what your body feels is ready for you to process, to forgive, and to ultimately release. Because we are always, as women, we are always changing every single month. It doesn't matter if you are in your menopausal stage we're still changing in this cyclical fashion every single month. And every single month we have the brand new brilliant ability to change our self-concept, to change who we believe ourselves to be, but also be deeper embodied, because we already learned everything that we needed to learn from the last menstruation cycle. So, healing balms to hypervigilance, burnout, dysregulation, as well as disassociation. I wanted to really hit on just disassociation can be really, I would say, a common experience for a lot of women. We want to actively release feeling burnt out, which is moving, doing things way too fast, ignoring the body. Paranoia, hypervigilance, dysregulation of the nervous system, and being tense from the female embodiment, and move into an embodiment that is open, soft, and receptive to life's glorious happenings. When these things are released and remedied, a woman has access again to her precise, intuitive decisions. So, there are a couple things that we need to go over when talking about disassociation and feeling burnt out, because you can be an extremely successful woman but still feel utterly disconnected from your emotions, your body, and your womb space. It is a real thing where you can feel successful but disconnected. OFB is going to guide you to being both successful, fulfilled, and fully connected to your feminine intelligence. All right, we have here self-touch. You can heal anything with your own self-touch. So I want that to be burned into your mind, because the medical system and the education system has nothing. They don't even touch the intelligence that you have at your fingertips when you go looking for it and allowing yourself to receive it. So your self-touch can heal anything in your body, and you'll be able to see the proof of that as we move forward. It is when our touch deeply nourishes us that it begins to regulate us and bring us into harmony. So the healing balm to hypervigilance and getting out of being in your head all the time is body work. It is taking moments out of your day to hold your throat and ask, am I expressing my fullest truth? It is taking moments out of the day to hold your breast, to hold your heart, and ask yourself, am I living from my heart? Am I choosing decisions that are in alignment with my heart, in alignment with everything that I am? It is taking time out of the day to bless yourself, look in the mirror, and say out loud, I am mother effing brilliant. I am so amazing. And feeling that through your system, right? When we ignore the body, everything out here goes freaking haywire. When we release hypervigilance, I just need to make sure. Yes. When we release hypervigilance and dysregulation, the most powerful essence in the whole world comes online. And it is a woman's intuitive nature. If we are living in a nervous system that is like super strict and strangled, then you're going to be living your life in a very vigilant state. When we touch our bodies, drop down and release, something begins to happen with the body where this like eternal calmness washes over, and being calm, centered, and grounded becomes your embodiment, because you've came back to the altar of your body so many times and slowed down, opened, and released this dysregulation, which ultimately regulates you. So the healing balm to all of this is going to be your embodiment practices. All right, so the power of our breath. Let's dive into the power of our breath. Your breath has the power to alchemize all feelings and anything that may come up for you during your practice. Okay, in OFB, we primarily use 3 different types of breathing patterns to relax our bodies and open even deeper into who we are. The first one, the main jam of OFB, is diaphragmatic breathing. This is 7 to 9 seconds inhale, 7 to 9 seconds exhale. This is deep-bellied and slow. Number 1 is the one that I was talking about, where it took me a little bit of time to learn to drop in, learn to slow down, and know that it's okay to slow it all the way down. And sometimes slow it all the way down where I'm putting myself to sleep with my own self-touch. It's almost like this entire rewire. I'm moving so slowly. I'm moving so slowly that I can feel my cerebrospinal fluid pumping up and down my spine. I can feel that flow. I'm moving so slowly that I can feel the bones of my face gently, rhythmically moving. Right? That's how slow we slow it all the way down. I also wanted to say that for those of you that have been doing all the embodiment practices, and you don't have to do what I say in the embodiment practice. It is a guide. There's no way you can exactly mess this up. All of those are guides. When I am doing my practices, sometimes I go way slower than the way I guide it on the podcast. So your practice is going to be your practice, but know that you can kind of kick the whole, like, am I doing this right thing out of your head, because this is you building a relationship with your body, and that's the only thing that matters. So our second type of breathing would be rebirth breathing or box breathing. This could be overstimulating at times. I don't do this breath very often because it can be overstimulating, and I find that for the most part, people are already overstimulated. We live in a world where there's screens all around us. People are moving way too fast. So for me, it's better to drop everybody into, for the most part, 7 to 9 seconds inhale and exhale, because that way I know I'm putting you at a pace that is slowing you down from a world where mostly everything is overstimulating. And then the third type of breath is your own rhythm. You will find your own rhythm, oceanic breath, oceanic movements, as you continue to work with your body and build a relationship with your body. I have down here that I've had some practices where all I can do is just bring myself to breathe. So never forget the power of your breath. All my body working sessions look drastically different. Some days it's a lot of intuitive movement and dancing, and some days it's just pure awareness to my breath, finding and scanning the spots and parts of me that are tight and maybe a little sticky, and asking what's going on there. What's going on with my liver? What's going on with my kidneys? What's going on with my skin, my fascia, whatever it is. The power of our awareness and receptive listening. So all body working practices are designed to guide you out of your mind. Again, get out of your mind and into your body. They're designed to train your awareness to be body-centered and to ask questions so that the bodily or womb answer can be received. I call this the vagina voice. You are asking questions to your body so that you can start to get in contact with your feminine intelligence. I will always use questions in certain practices because it will allow the ability It would allow the opening for you to actually listen to your body and receive the answers right from your body. So, like I said, I am teaching you how to fish so that you can feed yourself forever. Asking questions to your body and your womb is how your body becomes your compass, because then you are building trust in yourself and you're building the ability to follow your body and your innate wisdom. I also wanted to say that when you are doing your body working practices, you are releasing self-hate. It's extremely hard to hate your body if you're touching your body every day. From here, we form opulent levels of self-love and self-worth because you're actively building the love that you have for yourself. And that is going to come in term as your embodiment. All right. Touching your destiny timeline, there becomes something so natural that begins to happen when one starts a dedicated body working practice, and it is that you begin to hear the body talking to you like never before, and from here the body will guide you down new paths of healing that is sourced from the relationship that is cultivated by doing self-body working techniques. So the guidance that you receive, this is the path that will illuminate itself. It is what I call the destiny path or the destiny timeline. So listening to your body equals your destiny. Like I said, you can be extremely freaking successful, whatever the word successful really means, and be ignoring your body the entire time. And normally the external gets a little crazy because we didn't come to earth to ignore the vessels that we emanate our consciousness through. A woman's oracle is her womb, her vagina, her cervix. The deepest parts of a woman will become her compass when we are dedicated on touching, opening, and deeply listening. You know, I told you before, but the body will tell you 100% of everything that you will ever need to know. You do not need to outsource yourself outside of your body because your body has the absolute answer. Right? Your destiny is soul guidance from your body of desires that are inevitable. So this is like where you are supposed to be. I'm at the right place at the right time. I am following my body. All right. So oil use in OFB. In OFB, we use cold pressed organic castor oil, and sometimes this is blended with a little bit of organic coconut oil to shift the viscosity. This is very rare that I do this. Sometimes I do this just so that it's less stickier on my body. For the most part, I'm using castor oil in its regular state. I am a massive supporter of using castor oil because this is the only oil that will provide a woman's body with the deepest levels of nourishment when we are focused solely on the hydration of our fascia. So, I'm not going to go into the scientifics and the breakdowns of what is castor oil and what it does to our fascia. I just know that castor oil is the oil that allows your fascia to be deeply, deeply, deeply hydrated. Become hydrated. Castor oil is a lot thicker, so just to preface, it's a lot thicker. You'll start to kind of feel that it's very gammy. As you continue with the practices, you will learn to love that thickness and the richness and working that on your body. To every single practice, when we are working with oil, I would do your practice on materials that you don't care about staining because castor oil does stain, and also bring a towel to every practice. I find that if I am doing a practice earlier in the day, earlier in the morning, I just use a towel to wipe off the excess, and then I just leave a little bit of the oil on my body to really soak in. here are some recommended products. I'm always going to recommend you the organic castor oil from here, and you can click on these, it'll take you to the link. This is right now I'm using a waterproof sheet, but this also works very well in terms of finding materials that you don't care if it gets stained. You don't care if castor oil gets on something like that. So just a little bit of helpful stuff. All right, this I think is one of my favorite things because although body work is really amazing, we can always do stuff to make it even more amazing, even more brilliant. All right, drinking organic lavender tea. Gotta have it. 30 minutes before practice. When we are embarking on really deep hymenal ring work and really deep cervical work, lavender tea, I find, really helps. It like lightens, so to speak, the things that are uncovered in the cervix and the hymenal ring. Some of the most transformative things I've ever done is definitely hands down self-intravaginal work, but it is working with my hymenal ring and my cervix. Organic Manuka honey facial mask, so putting beautiful honey all over your face during your practice, and then doing your practice, letting the honey soak into your face, soak into your fascia, and then washing off it after your practice. Organic India Joy Supplement. So the supplementation of this, I recommend this be taken daily. It's just a great it's a great supplement. What can I say? The holy basil tulsi. These herbs naturally keep the nervous system in a peaceful and expanded state. Sometimes when we're doing body work, I wouldn't say things get exactly worse before it gets better, but body work can be extremely emotional, and you need to have the supplementation to support what you're releasing. So I find that when I take supplements that assist in my stress response, I can move through the emotions, the grief, what's being brought up a little easier. If that makes sense. I hope it does. Ceremonial cacao. I will always work with ceremonial cacao. The cacao that I use is the Aura Tantric Rose Blossom, and I use raw milk and cream with my cacao. Normally I would do like cacao early in the morning. I don't know, cacao is good whenever, but I just find it to be when I'm working with my heart, when I'm working very deep with my breaths, and working with living in alignment with my heart, expressing what's on my heart, out through the throat. It's this whole thing. This is amazing practice editions. Always, pen and paper to journal your experience. I normally don't have that. I normally write down all my stuff in my phone, but it's okay. Soothing music, ambient background, optional, and then your space heater if needed. Alright, so we need to make a ceremony. These embodiment practices are called ceremonial bodywork for a reason. It is sacred time for yourself to listen to your body and get in touch with who you really are. So you find yourself through your own self-touch. This is an explorative journey. This is your relationship with your body. So we have ceremonial embodiment practices, but then we also have devotional immersive series, which you will see more of. We have a immersive series coming up called Oceanic, which I'm really excited about. It's going to be about a woman's ability, the capacity to receive and release, like the ocean. bringing it in as the tide comes in and pulling it back out as the tide goes out. Oceanic is going to be good. You'll get the intro to that soon. All right, so as we begin for our close, let me think of anything that I may have missed. I don't really think so. Yeah. We have reached the end of our beautiful foundational class. So I want to say thank you so much for listening and thank you for serving your body. Again, the benefits are always going to be infinite, and your embodiment is a ripple effect to everyone's life. So I'm just going to leave you with this. Just think about it. Begin to care even deeper about the woman that you are right now and the woman that you are becoming. And to ask yourself, who are you becoming? Who do you want to be? What do you believe yourself to be? Who do you believe yourself to be? So, thank you so much.